great to meet Akeem. He's so inspiring. He's got so many great thoughts. It's so good to see him in this space, kind of talking to people about how they get their story across.
The story touched me. You know, full of a lot of rejections, and was able to go through them and got to the top of it. That really moved me.
I love listening to Akeem's story and just the insightful and just out-of-the-box approach that he took to building and growing his business.
It's super inspiring to hear from him. I appreciated the vulnerability and the transparency. Like, he keeps it real. He's telling people exactly what he went through.
We have Akeem Shannon. The stage is yours.
What's going on, Finovate? A few years ago, I got a full ride scholarship, and I lost that scholarship. But when I came home, I made myself a promise. I have to be making more than the average college graduate. I became the #1 sales rep at 2 Fortune 500 companies, making nearly 6 figures and had saved up 100 grand in cash. So, if I could do that for me, imagine what I could do for you. And she said, you know what, Mr. Shannon, now that you mention it, I think you can do something for us. What I realized was that I didn't change, but the story changed. And what I'm here to talk to you about today is the power that a story has to change the trajectory of your organization. I applied to be on Shark Tank. We get to the final round. They call me and they tell me, you're not gonna be on Shark Tank. And I was devastated. I got to figure something out. And I ended up finding Revolt Summit. This event, I knew I needed to talk to one person, the original D-O-double-G Snoop. Snoop's taking questions. They're like, one more question. And I'm one person away. So I take my phone out and I slap it onto the pillar right behind me. And he looks, he's like, bring him up there. I want to hear about that. That could be a product that's going to change the world. He invites me up to the stage. Snoop ended up calling Shark Tank. And that's how we got onto the show. Our product did not change, but the story changed. This conference, you will have opportunities. You'll have moments to share the story of your organization. And if you share that story, you'll get those opportunities too. I'm gonna give you a couple of tips. I came up with this thing called the 34-56 framework. 3 stories, 4 mindsets, 5 principles, and 6 audiences. We're gonna talk about what I think are the most important, which are your 3 types of stories. You know me, I'm gonna ask a question when I get the opportunity. And the person on stage was Mark Cuban. I said, a few years ago, you asked me where I sell flip sticks. Ask me where we sell flip sticks now. Last week we launched in Target and Best Buy. Crowds going nuts. I see the guys from Amazon. They were eating it up, loved it. They're evangelizing my entire story through the entire Amazon organization. And I start getting phone calls. I get texts from people. They're like, hey, you're in the training module for Amazon Pay. And they're like, Akeem, we want to feature Flipstick on the home page on Black Friday. And it all came, not because I told my story, but because I lived the story that other people went to go tell. That's all for me, guys. Thank you very much.